Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video we are going to be getting back to work on the Motostandard 1010. It's been a while since we've done anything on this tractor, but we're keen to get back on with it. Since the last video, you may have noticed, we've painted the engine. And we've just dumped it back in the tractor here. It's not actually bolted down, it's just placed down. Also, we replaced a couple of components. We've got a new spark plug on there and a new carburetor, just for when we come around to doing a bit more on the engine. Now, we don't fully remember where we are with this project. We have a very outdated to-do list up on the whiteboard there, and I think a couple of those things need getting rid of, and I'm sure we'll find some more things to add to it. So today we're going to be cleaning up a couple of panels and refitting stuff, and once we've refitted a couple of things, hopefully that'll jog our memories of what we need to do, and we can go through the checklist, change a couple of things and do a few of the less complex jobs. We've got a number of the parts laid out on the bench here, and normally we wouldn't assemble the tractor with all of these big parts at this stage. Normally we'd do it at the end once everything mechanical has been done, but these do take up quite a bit of space, and some things like fitting the bonnet will help with other challenges, like what we're going to do about the air filter cover, etc. On the engine. Now, we have actually cleaned up the inside of the bonnet here, and you can see that's looking quite nice in there. We do still need to do the other side of the bonnet though. As you can see, that requires quite a bit of work, and how we'll do that is we'll just lightly sand it and then use cutting compound and polish to get a nice finish on it, hopefully. And also we have the footrests here. We've got a bit of a repair to do on the rubber stuff on these, as you can see there, and also the paintwork needs cleaning up, same with the underside of them. And then here we have the seat and rear fender, which we believe the seat is the wrong way round on this, which is one of our jobs on the job list, is to turn this around. Whilst we have it unbolted, that'll give us a nice opportunity to really get in underneath here and clean it up. There's a bit of a better lighting for you. So we will get to cleaning up some of these parts. We've finished cleaning up the top of the hood now, and it looks pretty decent, especially compared to how it was before, which is what the rear fender looks like currently. But I'll just pop this out of the way for a minute. And then we've also got these footrests that we need to do. We'll do them off camera, probably the exact same job. So them pretty much. And that leaves us with the rear fender here, which, if I turn this up on its side so you can see, we're going to take off these 4 bolts in there, which detaches these parts from the rear fender, and also the seat stand from the rear fender too. And these appear to be a 13mm nut, so I'll get these taken off and we will see what we're left with. So we have the back fender and seat assembly apart now, and this is what we found. On here there are tons of holes, including some that have been kind of double drilled so that they mix into one hole, and it looks a bit of a mess. There's also a dent here on that side and a dent there too. And what we found from this, you can see where the seat would have been from factory, but this bit at the back of the fender which makes our assumption that the seat was the wrong way around correct from the pattern that's on the bottom of here. Which, talking about the bottom of here, it's a complete mess. So if you look on here, it looks as though there was square parts on here before for captive nuts, but on this side it appears to have all just snapped off, and someone has welded a plate underneath it to make up for that. And you can see the pattern with this bit at the back of it, which shows that this should have been the other way around on the fender. Also, something interesting on this tractor, these two springs or seat mounting parts are actually two separate things. Normally on our tractors they're always one part. As if by magic for you, quite a lot of time later for us, we have now cleaned up these three parts. Firstly, we put some upholstery cleaner on this seat, which has made a bit of a difference, and we're not going to do anything refurbishment wise with getting this seat redone to get rid of this damage at the top. Cost us quite a lot of money to do that for the Wheelhorse Raider 9, and we don't think it's worth doing to this seat. Eventually we might develop our own skills to be able to fix this ourselves, but we think this is usable as it is for this tractor. And then we've got the mounting springs here, which have been polished up nicely. And probably the best improvement of the lot is the rear fender. You can see a lot of the rust is gone and it is nicely polished up. You can see the reflection of the light very well in that. So what me and Dad are now going to do is put all of these together. It is a two-person job because, of course, 3 panels being bolted together is quite difficult trying to do it all at the same time. So we'll come back to you once we've done that. We have all of that stuff put together now, and for a small tractor you wouldn't believe how heavy this part is. So just get this roughly lined up, you'll get an idea of what it'll look like when it's actually fully bolted on. So it should be about there, and we'll bolt that down in a minute. And the last thing really panel wise is the footrests, so we'll clean them up now. We've cleaned these footrests up to the best of our ability now, and we've used some upholstery glue to glue in this section that had come out and glue that back in. The reason it came out was because on the other side these are all carriage bolts which are loose, and with them being loose, if you don't line it up correctly then it can push through against this this grip material, and as you can see there it went straight through it before. Well, let's try and put one of these on the tractor. You can be very careful lining up the back of it because that is where the damage is. Oh. That is lined up, I believe. We have the footrests fitted now, and we also mounted the hood as well. Now we've got a couple more small things to do. Firstly, the gear knob. We are getting rid of this old car one, and we're replacing it with this. So, pretty simple installation of this. Installed, that's probably the simplest installation of the video, ignore that, and that seems to work nicely. Now the other thing I wanted to put on now is our attachment lift lever button, which we made as a small lathe project a while ago. I think we did it as a workshop Wednesday actually, and you can see there the taper on the end and everything. I will come around here and we can thread this on. This will actually be the first time, once this is on, that we've been able to use the attachment lift lever properly, because without the button it is very difficult to actually push the thing down to make it work. So this will be the first time with us properly testing this. There we go. That seems to work quite well. Now that we've put on those couple of things, let's head over to our whiteboard and see where that puts us. On our things to buy, that's our Makita battery charger that you can hear in the background, which, since we got a couple of Chinese replacement batteries for some of our Makita tools, it started becoming a bit musical. I swear it wasn't before, but our batteries appear to have hacked into our charger. Anyway, we'll get back to this. I think we've got everything on the to buy list now, so that should be fine. So, engine fit. We have dropped it in the previous videos, but we also went over some of the challenges that we're going to have with fitting that new engine in properly, which were the fuel tank. Bit messy that. The air filter, because that doesn't fit with how big the new air filter is compared to where the hood goes. The exhaust, and also the battery, because where we're talking about putting the tank might not be very convenient for the battery, and also we need to find a new one that will actually fit in there. Then wiring, we haven't made any progress with yet because we're kind of waiting for the engine to fit in properly. Rear axle repairs, did them a while ago actually, when we stripped down the gearbox and everything there. Steering, we haven't got to properly yet. I think we started looking at it, but we haven't finished it, definitely. Stub axle and wheel repair, we'll come back to that in a minute. Clutch and brake adjustment, we want to do that once we've got a lot of the other stuff set up on it. Reverse the seat, we just did that when we unbolted it from the rear fender. We switched it around before we put it back on. Lift handle and gear knob, as you just saw, we fitted that. Tow bar is still on the front of the tractor. It needs to be moved around to the back, but we're not going to move it now. And clean and refit, obviously this video we've spent quite a while doing that, but since everything isn't fitted yet, we won't tick that off just yet because there's some other stuff that needs to go on. There's a couple of other jobs that we've thought of that we are going to add to the list, and that's a very squeaky pen. One of them is the PTO bearings, which are the bearings on the front of the tractor. Down here, bearings on these pulleys need replacing because they've got quite a bit of wobble on them. So they need replacing. And also a possible new dash panel. We're not sure if we need it or not. But with the new engine, we've got more controls that we want to add to the thing with the choke and throttle for this engine. So we'd need some additional places on that to put the switches and stuff for them. So we may need a new dash panel, we might not. So I'll just put a question mark there because it might not be necessary. Now, coming back to the stub axle and wheel situation, for anyone that has only just started following along with this series, this is the state of one of the stub axles. Extremely worn, probably the worst we've ever seen. And the wheel is in equally bad condition, I would say, from running on this stub axle. And we've had various conversations and ideas about how we're going to tackle this. And we have decided we're going to make a whole new stub axle. So, not sure how well that will go, but you may have seen when we were looking at the whiteboard, we've got some measurements up there that we've already taken. total length of it, and that is for the length from the end to the slot for the snap rings. And then this is the length from the end to the corner to the end on those different bits to get the different dimensions. And I'm sure we'll take a few more measurements to help us along the way with making a new stub axle. But the next video that you will see on the Motostandard will be us attempting to make a stub axle for it, and we'll do some prep work off camera because there's going to be a lot of work needed to make one of these, and then the video will be explaining fully how we are making this and going through the process with you, so look forward to that. But that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.